Hi ladies, this is the Divine Feminine's energy update for the month of October. This energy looks at the end of September going into October, and what we have to look forward to within our connections. There are a few things that I do want to say though, because this is super, super important for the Divine Feminine to pay attention, okay, to the specific messages that the universe is trying to send to her. Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, someone mentioned to me in a previous session that I had, she said that it seemed as if a lot of Divine Feminines have engaged in cord cutting and they are not interested in being with their twin flames. And there's a couple of things that I want to say regarding that. No, not all Divine Feminines, not even most Divine Feminines have done cord cutting. Okay, so there are quite a few Divine Feminines that I work with who are in some way connected to their twin flames. Okay, so remember, I also said, and I have always been an advocate, you do not have to be in a romantic relationship with your twin flame in order to make it work. Okay, you just don't. That's not a prerequisite for you to be able to do what Spirit has called you to do, so you can walk fully and firmly into the calling that the universe has sent for you. You do not need to be romantically connected to your twin flame to do that. I know there are some other readers that teach that. Trust me when I say either number one, they themselves are unhealed, or number two, they're teaching it that way so you can come back to them for them to get more readings and more clients. Okay, not all of us are meant to be romantically involved with our twin flames. Okay, there are some of us who are simply meant to know who the twin flames are, because that soul helps to propel you to move forward on your spiritual journey, but that's it. Okay, it doesn't always mean that you're meant to, in this incarnation, be there with your twin flame. Okay, the other reason why I want to mention that too is because many in the twin flame community forget a subset of twin flames. This subset of twin flames are those where one soul is incarnated in this lifetime, but the other twin soul isn't. So the other twin soul is serving as their spiritual sort of guidance from the other side. Okay, that is still a bona fide twin flame connection. So when we keep talking about the twin flame connections in this like 3D sort of way, what we end up doing is we take the magic out of the spiritual concept in and of itself, right? Because one of the things I noticed that many people, when they think about twin flames, they immediately think about 3D notions of relationships, right? Like being married, having the nice house, the white picket fence, the children, the pets. You know, it's like Spirit is just like, that's all great, but that's not why I have you here. Right? And then there are another subset of folks who are connected to souls like a twin flame connection, but it's more than one soul that they have that close connection to, right? So again, you don't want to limit the amount of power you have within your connection because you're only thinking about it in a 3D perspective. Okay, a lot of times the clients that I come across who absolutely thinks about this in a 3D perspective, the reason why is because they are not healed fully themselves, number one, or number two, they have some codependency issues that Spirit is like, I need you to deal with that before I can bring your person into the picture. Because if you don't deal with that, this is going to be an unhealthy union, and this is not what Spirit is about, right? Or it could be number three, the person is really, really focused on their twin flame because, again, they haven't yet found themselves. So I've also noticed that a lot of Divine Feminines will just only look at their twin flame when they're busy trying to go around the work that Spirit wants for them to go into, right? Because let's be real, as an adult, healing isn't easy. Healing is tough, it's hard, right? It's not easy. It's completely tough. It's hard. Some people don't want to do it. That's fine. But also at the end of the day, if you don't do the work, your spirit guides are like, there's no way I can help you, right? Because you have essentially limited yourself from being able to move forward and utilizing your spiritual gifts. So again, your guides are like, hey, what do you want? Do you want the nice twin flame or soulmate relationship with someone that you're compatible with? Or do you want it your way? And remember, when we want it our way, sometimes it's not the best way. So be careful for what you wish for. This is another reason why when I do my spells and when I do my rituals, I will literally say, Spirit, whatever is the best outcome for all souls involved, allow that to take place. Allow that to happen. I'm not going to say, Spirit, I want to be with this person, so bring this person to me. That's ridiculous, right? Because the other part that I also have, told women too, is that you want to make sure that when you are calling spirit, the universe, whomever, into helping you manifest whatever it is you're trying to manifest, that you're in a position to receive it. Sometimes we're not always in a position to receive it, right? And so, because we're not always in a position to receive it, what ends up happening is, we tend to call that person to us. That person isn't healed. We're not ready. And so we end up doing the whole separation dance again because you are moving too quickly. You're not listening to what spirit has to say. Okay, so again, I personally recommend that the Divine Feminine take a step back a little bit and say, I want the thing to happen that is going to be in the best interest for all souls involved, right? That's what we need to do. Okay, so ladies, I'm going to go ahead and get started with pulling. Again, this is for the end of September going into October. We're going to see what energies come out here. Spirit, please give us a theme. End of September going into October. This first pull is for those who are in separation. If you're not in separation, this may not really resonate. Okay. The only way this would resonate if you're physically with your twin flame is if you both are having communication issues. Okay. So again, if you are not in separation, this will not resonate. Spirit, can I get a few more for the theme? Ace of Cups in reverse. Okay. The energy that is showing me here is that, number one, the Divine Feminine is sick of a lot of crap. Okay, I think we have had enough of this stale energy that we have been given the past couple years from our masculine counterparts. We've been given this stale energy because our masculine counterparts have not been ready to move forward on the journey. And so because they haven't been ready to move forward on the journey, what have they been doing? Okay, they have been literally kind of like running away from the connection totally, because the Divine Feminine is spending time getting herself ready, right? She's spending time building herself up, walking in her calling, walking in her power. And the Divine Masculine is just sort of like, I'll catch up to you when I do. And the other thing too that I notice, this is the other thing that I noticed too, a lot of the feminines that have been really going on this journey lately, right? Looking at the spiritual aspect. Many of your masculines are stubborn, right? Really, really stubborn. Now, there are some masculines who are soulmate connections to some of these twin flames that would make much better partners than your twin flame. And this is because those soulmate partners are not really in this whole, how can I put it? They're not really in this space of feeling entitled to your time and your energy as the Divine Feminine. A lot of the masculines that we're dealing with as a collective, as the Divine Feminine collective, feel entitled to our time and our energy. So if we come to them and we're like, hey, Spirit gave me a message that I need to give to you, or we come to them and say, your ancestors want to speak to you, or your ancestors have a message for you, for some strange reason, okay, they do not take it as, hey, the Divine Feminine is really doing the work, and she want to make sure I, do the work and I'm my very best self. For some strange reason, they feel as though that is our job. It is not our job, right? So this is another reason why I tell the Divine Feminine, you have to listen to what Spirit is telling you regarding your connection. Sometimes the masculine simply is not ready to hear the words that are coming out of your mouth. They are not ready for the seed that you are about to plant. And if that is your divine masculine, you need to step away from him, okay? Because he needs to grow. And usually what ends up happening once Spirit sends us signs, right? Because as you know, Spirit will never just send one sign and then go, right? Spirit always sends confirmations to us to let us know we're on the right track. So if you as a Divine Feminine are sitting up here sending the Divine Masculine signs to let him know what it is he need to be doing, and he's busy acting like, I don't hear nothing, I don't see nothing, I don't know why she's reaching out to me, I don't know why she's calling me. Okay, if this is what he's doing, then Spirit is going to say, you know what, I'm going to have to give him a tower moment. I'm going to have to give him a tower moment because he refuses to do what I have called him to do. So since he refuses to do it that way, we're going to have to do this the hard way. This is why so many masculines keep going through these tower moments, because they don't listen. Spirit is like, I'm sick of this. This is ridiculous. They do not listen. Okay, so let's look at some of this themed energy. This themed energy as we approach the end of September going into October for the fall. Okay, so first 3 cards that came out for the theme card for the Divine Feminines. Now, if this resonates with you, if this reading resonates with you, you and I are on the same level when it comes to this. So pretty much what has happened, the Divine Feminine is tired. She's tired of going back and forth. She's tired of trying to make sense of a connection, whereas the Divine Masculine refuses to wake up, right? He completely refuses to wake up. So the Divine Feminine, she's tired. She's like, Spirit, I need to see what else is out there because this person is driving me crazy. Please help. Show me the way, enlighten me, right? That's what she's saying. And so first we have 3 of Pentacles. So 3 of Pentacles is that card that says something is coming to completion, right? Something is coming to an end. This season of the Divine Feminine having to always go after the masculine and handhold him and, the various events that he has going on in his spiritual journey, that's all coming to an end. Ace of Wands. The Divine Masculine has missed his opportunity to be with the Divine Feminine. For many counterparts, not all, not most. Okay, I want to repeat that because sometimes I say things in the readings and then, I'll get an email later like, well, you said that most. No, not most, not all. But for many Divine Feminine counterparts, especially the Divine Feminines who have a particular calling on their lives. This particular calling is about you serving your life purpose, you helping others, you using your healing abilities to help others, you teaching others. You don't have time to wait on the masculine. Am I right? You don't have time to wait on the masculine. He missed his opportunity. The Divine Feminine said, you know what? There is someone out there who is better, who is going to be aligned with me energetically. This is the person or the soul that I need to work with as I get this stuff done. Some Divine Feminines are saying, I waited long enough. And when these Divine Feminines say that they're waited long enough, these are not just people who met their twin flame last year. These are not couples who just met last month. These are people that have been doing the ebb and flow, the bumpy ride within the journey for years. And they are tired, right? They're tired. They're like, I'm not putting up with this mess anymore. You need to get yourself together, and then you come and you talk to me. You come and you commune with me once you got yourself together. But for now, it's a coffin. It's the nail is in the coffin when it comes to this connection because you haven't been listening. The sun in reverse. Literally, the sun has set on the connection. The Divine Feminine is done. And this really reminds me of, it really, really reminds me of this this quote, this saying that we have about when it comes to leaving a relationship or a connection. You know, the divine feminine or women don't typically leave the connection arbitrarily. We just don't get up and leave, right? It's like our mind or the emotional part of ourselves leaves the relationship or the connection first, and then physically will follow, right? We just be like, we're done. And so this is what's happening to the divine feminine. Little bit by little bit, since we've started this pandemic, really. I think the pandemic has also forced the divine feminine to really, really go within and think about what it is she wants. Because the divine masculine he's not it. He's not it. He's not doing, that soul is not doing what he's supposed to be doing. And so she's like, no, I'm done. There's someone out here who's better. I am tired of wasting my time. I am tired of having to go through heartbreak. Ace of Cups in reverse. I'm tired of having to deal with these missed love opportunities and the lack of emotional love or connection within this twin flame connection myself. I'm tired of doing it. There are some feminines who are tired of only receiving a close sort of connection from their divine masculines when they want something. They only come to you when they need something. That's when they want to be all lovey-dovey and tell you those sweet nothings in your ear and then talk to you the way you've always been hoping for them to come back. No. Divine Feminine said we're not doing that either. Why? Because she healed. Why? Because she's been doing the work. And I have kept saying this for the longest time for everyone really that I've been working with Piscean spirituality, is that the divine feminine is taking her rightful place back on the throne. Like, people keep thinking that it's just a figure of speech, but no, really, this is what's happening in a spiritual sense. Because as goddess takes her seat upon the throne, all the other divine feminine counterparts are going to follow through. This energy shift is happening. The divine feminine is saying, I deserve better. I deserve more. I'm not chasing after somebody else. Someone else should be here helping me, right? Someone else should be here supporting me and what it is I'm trying to do. I want to be with someone who is energetically and spiritually aligned with me. The divine feminine is tired. This is the theme going into fall. Because by next fall, by next harvest, she wants to reap what she's sown. There is nothing for the divine feminine to reap this harvest when it comes to her connection with the divine masculine. He messed up everything. And so I was reading this one article about twin flames. I don't even know how I came across this article, to be honest with you, but everybody always had something to say about twin flames, especially on blogs and stuff. And I do find some of this stuff kind of hilarious. But, you know, she was saying on the blog that whenever we say the divine masculine isn't ready, you know, we're essentially saying we're not ready. Let me tell y'all, that is some bullshit if I've ever heard it. That is really some BS. I am not the reader that tells you attract whatever energies are around you. That's some BS too. No. When you have good intentions and you have a good heart and you're smart and you're intelligent and you want to help others, of course you're going to have some leeches come to you, right? That's just logic. If they see something is good, of course they're going to want something good, even if they're not good. Again, logic, right? It's not really a spiritual concept. But what we need to do as women who are spiritually inclined is utilize our intuition to make sure that we are not entertaining these leeches. Because leeches go to everyone. Narcissists go to everyone. Sociopaths, guess what? They go to everyone. But what we got to do, we have to make sure that we put, again, that nail in the coffin. Nope, that buck stops here, right? You're not going to take me for a loop. You're not going to drive me crazy. You're not going to use that attitude, that disrespect. It stops here. Because why? The divine feminine know who she is. 8 of Wands. Because the divine feminine has taken this radical approach to her twin flame dynamic. Yes, this is radical. Because when you hear most folks talk about the twin flame dynamic, literally most readers are giving all of this just crazy advice to the divine feminine about waiting, have faith, have hope. I am not those readers. That's not me. I do not advocate for that whatsoever. I advocate for the divine feminine being fully and wholeheartedly happy. Because even if you do not end up settling with your twin flame, the soul that your spirit guides, your ancestors have for you to settle down with will be a soul that you can grow with. It will be a soul that will support you and will nurture you. And that is the only thing that really, really, really matters. So because she's taking this radical approach, Eight of Wands, she's going to start seeing doors open. Alignment. I keep hearing that word. Like, this is a season of alignment for the divine feminine. Alignment. She is in alignment. Things are coming together, right? Because she's doing the work. She's not waiting for anybody else. So if you're a divine feminine that has been waiting on your masculine to get his shit together, you might want to think twice, sis. Because you could be holding up your own blessings. King of Wands in reverse. King of Wands in reverse. With this energy, arrogance, narcissism. Many of us have been dealing with a lot of arrogant and narcissistic sort of counterparts. Now, I'm going to break this down a little bit because a couple of things I want to say about this. Someone who is toxic, someone who is abusive, that's not really a soul connection. And I think that it's important for us in the spiritual community to really differentiate between the two, right? Someone who is being abusive to you, someone who's not being supportive of you, they cannot possibly be a soul connection. One, your guides want better for you. Two, the person who is meant to stay in your life is supposed to help amplify your energy. They're supposed to be supporting you, right? They're not supposed to be taking you for a loop. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, when it comes to this, one of the things that I've noticed, now while the divine masculine may not be full-blown narcissists themselves, they tend to have these ego-centered, selfish sort of vibes to them. These are the shadow aspects that spirit has been asking them to work on for quite some time. And the divine feminine, she realizes, you know what? This is toxic. I no longer want to be a part of that. And what ended up happening is she didn't really recognize that the masculine has some toxic tendencies with his shadow self, right? Because usually when we as the feminine look at love and relationships and all that good stuff, we tend to be blindsided. It's like, ooh, that's so great. I love this person. He's so awesome. She's so awesome. They're so awesome. But you don't look at the details of the connection. That's a problem, right? And so what ends up happening here is after the divine feminine meets a karmic partner, this karmic partner is the one that takes us through the ringer. This is like the sociopath, the abusive MFer that if you could do a bunch of rituals to give them everything back that they dished out, you would. Right? That's the karmic. So once she looks at the behavior of the karmic, and then she also looks at some of what the twin flame is doing, she's like, so these are the shadow aspects he refused to deal with. I just kicked out the karmic partner because he was toxic. And now the masculine think that I'm going to wait around for him to get his self together when he's displaying these toxic tendencies. I think the F not, right? That's what the divine feminine is saying. There are so many divine feminines literally just walking in their power. Literally, I had it. Enough is enough. Let me move on. We're not doing this anymore. The divine feminine, she is done with the game. She's done with the drama. Two of Swords in reverse. Two of Swords in reverse. With this energy, she's starting to be skeptical about the divine masculine's resolve to make things work. She's starting to be skeptical. Everything sounds good on paper, or whenever he messages you or talks to you on the phone, he tells you exactly what you want to hear, right? So he makes it sound good there, but you're like, you just tell me what I want to hear. I don't really see your actions aligning with what it is you're saying. Or you keep coming to me in my dream state and you're doing things and showing me things that I want to hear, but again in the 3D, your actions are not aligning with what it is you're doing in the 5D. What's the deal here? Right? So because of this healthy skepticism that she has, she's no longer waiting around. All right, let's look at bona fide November energies. Let's see what is actually taking place as we hit mid-November. 9 of Swords. For those who haven't yet started the process of walking away from your divine masculines, it will be a tower moment in the connection. There absolutely will be a tower moment in the connection with the 9 of Swords. You're not going to be able to disregard it. You're not going to be able to walk away from it. More than likely, it's going to be conflict there. And your guys are trying to get you to understand that the longer that you were sitting up there waiting for him to get himself together, you were actually enabling the behavior. And so mid-November, many of you are going to have enough. More than likely, it's going to be a falling out, an argument that's going to take place, and nothing can be rectified from that argument, because the divine feminine was just mincing her words for so long, letting things go, letting things happen for so long, that she just allowed things to build up, right? So by the time things build up and the divine counterpart did or said something that really, really ticked her off, guess what? Now she doesn't want to have anything to do with them no more. The Knight of Wands in reverse energy just simply confirms that. Arguments, not seeing eye to eye. All right, for the divine feminines who have left, not necessarily left, but is not waiting around for the masculine and is open to the energies or the souls that spirit will send to them. All right, here we go. 6 of Wands. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. 6 of Wands, success. What you are seeking is also seeking you. What you are seeking is also seeking you. If you want a counterpart that is going to meet you halfway, that counterpart is coming October into November. If that's what you've been manifesting. Now, if you haven't been manifesting, if you've just been sitting around waiting, kind of hoping the universe will just boom, kind of like, bring your counterpart into your living room, tied up, wrapped up in a bow, it's not going to work, obviously, right? But for those of you who have been doing the manifesting, the spirit work, the 5D work, your person is coming. 6 of Wands, that is a success card, okay? Now, the other 2 cards that we have coming out with this energy too, with the 9 of Cups in reverse, and the Justice card. Now, what ends up happening is here too, many of us are skeptical because we have dealt with a lot of karmics, Justice, right? We dealt too many karmics in the past, so we're like, is this what I'm feeling? Is it really going to happen, or is it just me having false hope? What is it? That's what that's what many of the divine feminines are thinking about, right? What is this? So let's pull some more cards. Let's see what's happening here with that energy. Okay, a couple came out. All right, so this is what's happening. The divine feminine, there we go. The divine feminine, again, is a little bit disillusioned by what has happened with the divine masculine before, right? So the Emperor in reverse, masculine, have some negative qualities that we were talking about earlier, right? Some selfish tendencies, ego-centered. Judgment in reverse, the work is not being done in a spiritual sense, right? 3 of Cups in reverse, you have this distance, okay, between you and the divine masculine. Some of this distance is because the divine masculine are listening to people who doesn't really have his best interests at heart, okay? But the divine masculine energy, they're just not bright enough right now to recognize that they're being played. Okay, or they have a veil over their eyes. Now, the reason why I also said not bright enough to recognize they're being played, I'm not necessarily trying to be mean, but also what I am seeing too is when you are caught up a lot in manipulative energies, because a lot of the divine masculines have manipulative people around them right now. The Devil card came out here. When you involved a lot with that, you tend to lose your own free will. You lose yourself with those people. Six of Swords in reverse. They're not walking away. They're content with where they're at. Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah, they're content. They're content with where they're at with this crappy connection. So the Divine Feminine is still letting go because, again, they're not seeing clearly. They're not seeing the gift. They're only seeing what they want to happen in their life. They don't really care about the Divine Feminine. They don't care that she is sent from the universe, spirit, whatever the case is. They don't care about any of that. Knight of Cups in reverse, a lot of insecurities. Dark energy is happening here with them. So if you are the Divine Feminine that said, I'm walking away because this shit is ridiculous, bravo to you. That is the best thing you could have done. Two of Cups, the Star card. What you have coming in will not be as hard as what the masculine has made you go through the past few months. Seven of Wands, a balanced connection. Balanced connection. Two of Cups, the love is mutual. Reciprocity is at the heart and center of this. The Star card, this is what you've been hoping for. This is what you've been trying to manifest. Okay? This is what your guides want you to keep in mind. Okay? So again, if you're the Divine Feminine, if you've been doing the work, if you've been listening to your guides, if you have been accepting the fact that things are not always as they seem, right? Sometimes you got to go to your guides. Sometimes you got to ask them, for them to make things clearer for you, right? And once you have done the work and you decide, hey, I'm going to take my hands off of it because I trust my guides, I trust my ancestors, that's the best thing that you can do. The very best thing that you can do. All right, Divine Feminines, that is your energy update for us going into the month of October and a little bit of November. Of course, if you want to book an individual reading with me, that link is in the About section. Feel free to go and look at that link. You're going to have a lot of different sale options there. This is a VIP weekend sale, of course, and it has sales for readings, rituals, spells, all that good stuff. So definitely take a look if you're interested, or you can just simply email me and send a quick email to admin@pisceanspirituality.org, and we're more than happy to get you taken care of. Have a wonderful weekend.